Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and today I want to talk to you guys about sweetening your mix. When you're mixing, here's something that you should consider. You spend your time getting your balances right, and you spend a lot of time on EQ and compression, hopefully. Those two things will get you further in mixing than almost anything if you get the EQ and compression right. But once you're really pulling together a great sounding mix and things are happening and you've got your effects the way you want and you're bobbing your head saying, man, this sounds clear and punchy, and you're really digging where things are going. You're not done with the mix yet, in my mind, until you've thought of it in terms of what can I do to sweeten this mix? And what I mean by that is, what can I do to make sure that every moment of this song is interesting and compelling and will bring a listener on a journey, right? I don't care if it's a high impact, up tempo song that you want people to just be grooving to like crazy, or if it's a really drawn out ballad that's melancholy and moving, right? Both of those extremes, a well mixed and performed and produced song is going to pull the listener on some sort of emotional journey. And that's why we all listen to music. We listen to music because we want to be taken somewhere else, right? We don't listen to music to go, oh, what a great mix. I love how he boosted 3K on that snare drum to just make it crack. I mean, no one thinks like that. They want to hear the music move them. And if you listen to your favorite records, your favorite songs on the radio right now, then you're going to notice that every part of the song is interesting and different and keeps you engaged so you don't want to change the station on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Verse 1 may be a little basic, but verse 2 is going to sound different than verse 1. It's going to have different instruments or a different vibe, or the second chorus is going to be bigger or smaller. It's constantly evolving and changing. And so much of that is a good arrangement. And a lot of that is out of your control if you're just hired to mix. But regardless of how much control or how little control you had of the arrangement and what parts were actually played, you have final say as the mixer to deliver the mix as to how it all comes together. And the simplest of things can make a song interesting. And I just wanted to show you a really quick example of something that I was working on recently. Here's a version of Silent Night that my band recorded. And we recorded it real stripped down with acoustic guitar, one electric guitar, a bass, and kick and overhead mics on a drum set. Okay, really, really simple. We played it live together in a room, laid it all down, and then as I was mixing, I went back, I mixed everything, I got a static mix working, and then I started to think about there's 3 verses of this song, right? 3 verses. I have a couple of interludes in between each verse, and then I wrote a bridge at the end of the song. The bridge is the only thing that no one's really heard because it's unique and I wrote it, and it's kind of the big climax of the song. But no one is ever going to care enough as they're listening to this track to get all the way to the end of the song 3 minutes in if the song doesn't build in some way that's captivating to them, right? They even know this song. That's the problem with this song is people already even know how Silent Night's supposed to go. So if I can't get Silent Night to be interesting, we're doomed. So what I did is literally try to think of this song in terms of a complete build. It starts with just acoustic guitar, and then up here it adds a vocal. Silent night. Right? And then the band comes in. The next verse, the whole band's in. Holy night, shepherds quake. But that's about as big as we got for the next verse and a half. So when I came to mix, I realized the simplest of things are going to have to be added. I added a shaker loop here in the next interlude. Right, over on the left. Then I added a vibraphone. Silent night. Right. The Son of God loves pure light, radiant beams from that. So the slightest little things are keeping it moving, keeping it engaging. And then coming out of that verse, I added another electric guitar part over here on the right. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. So some of this is just recording extra parts, and sometimes you have the liberty to do that. If you don't have the liberty to do that as a mixer, you should just try it anyway and see if they can tell. Like lay down a little part, play the most subtle key part, a little bit of a string patch. Again, when we're talking about sweetening, at this point, you shouldn't have to change everything. You shouldn't have to rewrite the song. You should simply have to make sure that the song is building or just changing enough to keep it dynamic. It could be taking out a part for a verse, bringing it back in. It could be adjusting where something is panned. It could be opening up a double on a vocal that maybe you had, or saving a harmony for later in the song. You need to think of it in terms of an entire journey musically and just build, 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 and see what you can do with the littlest of things, right? So I just wanted to discuss that concept with you guys, that sweetening is really something you want to keep in the back of your mind as a stage for your mix. Do your mix, think about, is there anything I can do to sweeten it, and make sure that as you listen through it from start to finish, you're interested every step of the way. And that will go a long way to making it actually sound like a great mix to so many people. They'll definitely want to keep playing it, and they'll love every single part as it comes in, okay? Hope that makes sense. If you got a question, drop a comment here on the blog or on the YouTube video. Again, this is Graham at therecordingrevolution.com. Go make some great music this week, guys. Talk to you soon.